Welcome to Let's Talk About It Tuesdays, where I share conversations that I have with successful women, all answering the same questions. And then we simply chat it up a bit. You get to be a fly on the wall in these conversations. In today's episode, I'm talking about quality of life with Emily Rosales. Emily is a branding coach and founder of Simply Me Coaching, where she helps business owners fully connect with their story so they can build authentic brands that feel true to who they are. With her calm but bold presence, she is a woman who is driven and intentional about her own quality of life. Let's get to know Emily and a bit about her story.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for
You
joining me.
you look really pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know what to say after that part. I don't know. I find that sometimes I qualify afterwards. Someone gives me a compliment, I'll say, "Oh," and then I give a reason why I look extra pretty today. So that's why that was the awkward silence afterwards, feeling like I should say something.
I feel that taking a compliment is not easy sometimes.
It's definitely a practice to receiving it and just saying thank you.
Yeah, someone at Starbucks told me today that my skin was glowing, and I was like, "Oh, thank you. I like your jacket."
Right? I'm going to give you one now too. Exactly. Well, thanks for joining me as we have just a natural one-on-one conversation that I've pretty much already scripted before this time we get together. And just checking in and getting your information and your feedback about how quality of life affects you. And also at the end, I want to find out a little bit more about you and what you do. So for everybody that's watching, this is Emily Rosales. And we have just recently met and we had such a great connection the first time I found it. I just wanted to keep talking to you more. And so here we are chatting again.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
We actually met at the elevator and then just instantly clicked at the event and then saw each other. Oh, and then we had a conversation, a one-on-one, and then we saw each other, and now here we are again.
Yeah. And the last time I saw you, I left and I was really like, oh man, I didn't get enough time to talk to you. And we just kind of connected very quickly. And I don't know, that's how I know that I've connected with somebody when I go, oh no, I didn't get a chance to talk to them. And instead of, okay, yeah, let's just move on with our day. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to start with a question that I've been asking everybody else and that I've been talking to in this platform in this format, and that is, what does quality of life mean to you?
I love that question. Quality of life, I mean, I think the main word that comes to mind is peace, peace of mind. Um, that no matter what is happening, like even if there is chaos or there's challenges or there's hardships, there's this anchor, there's just this trust within that everything's okay and I can move through the day in a peaceful way regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like to me what I hear you saying is quality of life is more than just life. It's a mindset that you can put into action.
Yeah. It's kind of, I mean, it's like an inner calm within.
Hmm.
Hmm.
How do you achieve that for yourself?
It's my faith. It's just being really rooted in whatever faith means to an individual. But for me, I mean, it's just my faith in God, that it's like it is so deeply rooted that that's how I feel like that I can achieve it, that I have help, that I'm not alone. And I do feel like that's the secret to achieving that inner calm and that inner peace, no matter what's happening out in the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are there times where you're challenged more than others with achieving that form of quality of life for yourself?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's natural ebbs and flows of life, and I know the highs and lows very well. I'm very familiar with them. Uh, and having struggled with mental health myself and being very familiar with the highs and lows, I've just learned to discover that like lifestyle or quality of life that works for me. So, um, there is moments where my energies are, a lot higher. So like creative mode is on, like the switch is on. And then there's moments where I'm discouraged or disappointed and trying to figure things out. So it's kind of like this um underlying constant that it's like, okay, I know I like being aware that it's like, oh, right now I am much higher in the creative mode and being aware of like, oh, right now I am a little bit in the lower, but it's navigating much more through it, much better through it.
Right. Right. I love asking this question of women because I find that our answers all vary to a degree, but the hope and the goal is kind of the same, which is achieving the thing that we want within our life for ourselves, whether it's our heart, our mind, our body, our soul, And I have found that, like for me, for example, quality of life is a piggyback on what you're saying. For me, it goes a little bit before that, which is I I need to make sure that I have time to do that and that I'm not filling my schedule up with so many things. And when I do the things that I enjoy doing, I mean, it could be something as simple as being in my garden or roller skating. That's where I find that I get to where you are saying, so I love how it's achieved in different ways and there's no one right or wrong way to do it.
Yeah, I love that. I do remember you sharing about your passion for roller skating and inviting women. I would love to join you one day, by the way. But
Wait,
yeah, you're speaking into like our individuality,
yeah.
and what the creative part of us that one thing really works for us and one thing really works for me, but we're achieving that in essence, like that same inner calm or that quality of life
Mm-hmm.
in our own way.
Exactly. And do you find that when you get there, you feel more confident and stronger and equipped to handle the lows when they come?
When I find
When you are in that place of achieving your and striving for a portion of quality of life, do you find that that makes you feel more grounded?
Yeah, I think I think the quality of life stems from my like really tapping into my driver, like my inner why, because it's that's what gives me the awareness to be like, oh yeah, there is highs, there is lows,
Yeah.
and but there's something higher that I'm like going after. Like
Yeah.
I have a vision, I have something that I can see. So that is what helps me so much is connecting to that inner driver and then seeing what's ahead, those steps. So
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely helps me get through those moments where it's challenging because we're human. Like as
Yeah.
much as we try and cover it up or mask it, we all go through it some way, somehow.
Yes. Okay, so I want to know if you wouldn't mind sharing what's your
Yeah.
inner why?
My inner, yes, I love that. It's I mean I like in the simplest term is authenticity is really the embodiment of my most authentic self. And not only that, but prospering through that, like holistically.
Yeah.
Because most of my, like, there was a big portion of my life where I felt like I had to wear mask or I had to be these, a certain way in order to fit in. And a huge part of my life was people pleasing, was being accepted, was a big fear of getting rejected. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna figure out like whatever I need to do to fit in.
Hmm.
And it took a toll on me. I mean, even with my health and burning out. And so I got to the point where my health was just in such a bad state that I'm like, I have no option but to claim that power, but to like to have to pave the way of like my authentic self and teach others how to love me.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
I wasn't expecting that last part. I was thinking, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I love that. And then you threw that and teach others how to love me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have to sit with that for a second. That's so good because that is an important part of this journey. It's not only loving ourselves and finding out what we need, it's modeling that so other people will either show up for us in that way as well, or not.
Yeah,
And
I
you
mean
very
that other
quickly see
side too.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to be okay with accepting that some people are going to fall away and I might not be connected with them for a while and being at ease with that, being at peace with that.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. That letting go for me has been a very powerful part of this process, and really not being attached to people that I care and things that I care about, but not so attached that they would get in the way of me knowing what I needed to grow and heal through. And that letting go process was just as important as doing the inner work that I needed to identify what needed to be done.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Attachment.
Yes. Okay. I love this. I love going deep. This is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. I love going deep too.
I know. And part of the reason that I've wanted to do this video series is that we don't necessarily we meet people in elevators and we meet people at events and we say hi and we're in our beautiful facade and we have, our best lipstick on and all that. And then we leave and then we don't really connect. And I definitely have made a decision that I don't want to do that. I don't, I have bandwidth. I've made it so that my life, I have bandwidth to make sure that happens so that I can connect and talk about the real stuff and the thing that's important to us. And I think that as I am talking more, again, there's more universal truth. There's more universal experiences that we all have in common. I don't know one woman that will not identify with the um, the thought process of feeling like we need to please people or do all the things or look certain ways so that we're acceptable. And we might be talking about it to a degree, but let's talk about it in a little bit of a deeper way to where we are at a place of choice of whether or not we want to keep doing that.
Hmm. Yeah. I love that. A place of choice. It is a decision.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you and I had met at a networking event, and then
Mm-hmm.
we both found out that we're coaches. And what I love about being able to talk to you as a fellow coach is that immediately neither of us were like, oh, you're a coach and we're in competition. We're
Hmm.
not. We're both individuals and we both have maybe similar stories or similar thought processes, but you are unique and you are talented in ways that will reach people that I won't reach and vice versa. So immediately there's no competition.
Hmm.
But there's possibly what we talked about last time, which was collaboration. And so that's the other reason why I wanted to invite you here is because I wanted I wanted us to be a little bit of an example about there's enough room at the table for all of us as women, even if we do the same job and we we look similar, there's enough room for all of us to thrive and achieve and be absolutely successful, but also lift each other up and root for each other. So I'm totally rooting for you in your
Hmm.
corner of your coaching business, and I know you're rooting, I can say it, rooting for me, and I just want to promote that a little bit more. I want to promote what you do and how you want to help people. And, people know why I want to help people, but what do you do and why do you love doing it and how do you want to help people?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love everything you just shared. Chelsea, thank you for speaking into that. That's everything you just shared is something I'm very particularly passionate about, especially in business. It's just like, okay, like even coaching, the industry of coaching, I do feel like it's an industry that is undervalued and the world needs more coaches. So it's like, why wouldn't I root you on? It's like for me, it
Right.
just doesn't make sense. Like I love coaching so much and the world needs more coaches. Like,
Yeah.
there's the way that I see it, like there's an abundance of this. We just need to support each other and come together and keep like gathering that inspiration and that confidence to keep driving this because it's like the world is in deep need of having a safe space to be heard, to
Yeah.
be good, to see things a different way that's going to help them in their life, their quality of life overall. So
Hmm.
I think it's like this is amazing that we're speaking into this because I'm sure many people run into that problem of like, competition. Oh, like I'm not gonna hang out with her. Like, they might take my business. It's like not at all. And it's actually the reason why I niche down into the field of branding, coaching, like being a brand coach, because branding is a lot about bringing out your story, like your personal story, your personal values. What's your unique value proposition? So it's like when you have a deep understanding of your personal story and your difference, like there's no way I can
Right.
compete with you because you have way different experiences than I do, and I have different experiences than you do. We just need to find, we're just coming together to help grow and drive the like our businesses together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Share more with me and everybody who's watching. Share more with me about what that looks like for you as being a brand coach.
Yeah. So leaving mortgages, I left mortgages in the end of starting 2022. So it's been about 3 years since I left officially. Like, I'm personally like an all-in type of person. So I left mortgages. I took some time off, went through my own journey of discovery, having to figure out what I was doing next. I didn't know it was going to be coaching. I just kind of like stumbled on it and fell in love and have been taking leaps of faith ever since. And honestly, my coaching journey has been leaps of faith for the past like 2.5 years.
Wow.
Like small ones every single day, basically. And
Mm,
through that, I discovered my passion for writing. I was like writing so much on a daily basis. And I kind of stumbled on the industry of like, okay, well, there's different elements to branding. And I discovered that there's like the brand identity and the brand voice, basically. So, like through my own story, I was like, okay, well, I want to help. Like, I discovered my story, I discovered what makes me different. I think people are in much more need of this. Like, they need to
yeah.
know what makes them different. They need to know, like, they need to be fully connected with their story.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I want to help people bring their stories out. I want to help them understand what makes them different. And it's like, even when I was in mortgages, I struggled because there was so much competition that I was like, how am I going to be different here? Like everybody here is a loan officer. I don't, I had this
Yeah.
need to kind of stand out in a way. And that's where I was like, that's what I want to help people, help them know how they stand out in the marketplace.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I help my clients, is really guiding them in eliciting their uniqueness and expressing it out in the marketplace, basically.
And what kind of business owner do you primarily work with business owners, and what kind of business owners do you primarily work with?
Yeah, right now my main target audience is like solopreneurs, whether it's like a financial agent, insurance agent, real estate agent. I have been
Ah,
getting inquiries from like small businesses. So it's just, the stage where I'm at, I'm like, yeah, that this is where I'm meant to be. So most of my clientele is solopreneurs at the moment, but
yeah.
I'm starting to kind of venture a little bit into the small business world.
I think when people are starting businesses, they have all these really great ideas, especially for those of us who are creative and we know we're supposed to do something, but I think I think it is undervalued and not known how important marketing and branding is to what you want to do, because you can be the best real estate agent ever, you can be the best insurance processor ever, you can be, but if nobody knows that you exist and nobody knows why they should go with you, it's you're at a deficit basically, as a business owner. And so I definitely see the value in working with a coach like you that, can really help somebody get their story together and figure out how to say it. But then also say, and then buy this beautiful home for, this is
Right?
why you want to
Yeah.
work with me. This is why I will fit better with you. And again, the thing about not being in competition is that just what I've learned over the years is I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I'm okay with that. I don't get offended by that. But I am a lot of people's cup of tea, if I can say it. So you come to me. I have to take care of you. And so I definitely see the value in like helping pull that out of people, because we all have that in us. It's just a matter of figuring out how to say it and how to share it.
Hmm. I love that. I
Yeah.
love what you just shared because I can totally relate on not being everybody's cup of
Yeah.
tea and having to be okay with it because I'm like, well, there is a lot of people that I am their cup of tea as well, embracing that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I wanted to touch a little bit on because we have been talking about coaching and how we help people. And what I have found in this journey is that not a lot of people are aware of what coaching does, right?
Yeah.
And so when we talk about helping people, we are not talking about therapy. We're not talking about going into people's past and identifying that dynamics in their family and, how that affected them. I mean, everything to that point gets us where we are, but we're more talking about identifying what are the speed blocks and the blocks now that are keeping you from getting where you want to go, but also like what we were talking about with you, how can we pull some of the things out of you and bring it to light? I don't, do you
Yeah.
have anything else to add to that about the coaching process that you found?
Yeah, and it's so true about not a lot of people understand or get or and it is a process to communicate the value and communicate what we do. But the moment you experience it, the moment you have a full on like coaching session, then you're like, oh wow, that's
Yeah,
what happened with me. Coaching saved me. I am the testimony of it. I am the student of it. I am like I embody it. I live and breathe it because it's like nothing compares to having someone deeply just like hear you and um be a soundboard for you basically.
yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like everything is kind of being like reflected back to you. And then you're like, you become aware of your blind spot or things that you just were completely out of your awareness. And all of a sudden, you're so aware of something that you weren't. And you have the opportunity, you have the power to change that. You have the
Yeah,
power to reframe something. You have the power to adopt a whole new perspective, something that you were living for such a long time, and all of a sudden it just like is here. And it's like, whoa, what? And it takes a skilled coach to be able to reflect that back to someone.
hmm
So yeah, I think that is just a huge value proposition. And for someone to feel really safe in
yes,
voicing what they got going on,
yes,
whatever
exactly.
blocks, whatever challenges they have.
Safe spaces for sure, for sure. I think as a coach, that one of our number one responsibilities is to create safe spaces where, we can talk about whatever it is that you need to talk about so that we can help you get to where you want to go.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I take a really inward approach where it's like my passion for coaching is so deep that I'm like, how can I keep getting better so that I can hold an even better space for someone?
Yeah,
So that I can let them feel even safer. They feel the trust. So it's kind of taking that ownership of continuous improvement. This is a lifelong thing. I mean, I may be in this stage of coaching, but I'm also still going to be a student of coaching. Like I receive coaching myself, all the time. And it's just that's what helps me keep improving so that I'm ready for those people that need the space from me, basically.
that's beautiful.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. I
Yeah,
I hold the belief that if we're not growing, we're dying.
that's so
To put
true.
it in more simplistic terms, but the way you said it was beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, it also makes me really happy to be connected to a coach like you as well. It's just like hearing your journey, hearing some of your vision last time that we spoke. It's so inspiring, and that reinforces the fact that like, us we need to come together as community to be able to reinforce the visions that we have and keep moving
Yeah.
it forward. Because when I heard you share about some of your vision, it was really inspiring.
Oh, thank you. What part did I share that was inspiring? I don't remember.
It was just like the vision around like the road to Jubilee, and it's more of helping people see the value of resting and
Yeah,
retreating and having those safe spaces and having an actual like physical place for people to come and heal as
yeah,
well. Like that's part of it. I mean, I think that all is interrelated with coaching as well. Like,
absolutely.
safe spaces and healing and have a here you don't have to wear all these masks. Like come as you are basically.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Well, thank you for pointing that out because I was like, okay, what did I say that I say a lot of things, and so sometimes I like to hear, okay, well, how did that impress upon the person that I was saying it to?
Yeah, and I think a big word was resting,
Yeah.
sometimes, especially in corporate America or in the American culture, we're in feminine and feminism in the business world, we're in an environment of competitiveness, of overdrive, of burnout, of, you know, you got to hit these targets. It's just such a pressure sometimes that,
Yes. Yes.
there's been many cases of people burning out, of their health taking a toll because the stress was overbearing. So
Yes.
and something that people don't speak about so often. So bringing light into that, I think will help whoever is listening and has ever experienced some sort of a burnout. I did
Yes.
experience my own version of burnout.
Yep.
And
So did
yeah.
I.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's very motivating. Once we get through that, I know I want to share that with other people and how to avoid it if you can, or how to get out of it if you're there, for sure.
Mhm. How to
So,
prevent it, like already
yes.
take measured steps to prevent it, basically.
Yes. Exactly. It's kind of like, you go to the doctor and they try and tell you how to prevent getting sick. Not that burnout is being sick, but you want to do the steps that you can so that we get one life, right? And are we enjoying it? And I know not everything's perfect where we can always enjoy it. Stuff happens. Life is hard. How do we find the ways to implement those moments of joy so it doesn't have to always feel so hard?
Hmm. Yeah, and maintaining, like going back to the beginning of the conversation, is maintaining the quality of life even
Hmm.
through the
Yeah.
hardship and the challenges.
Yes.
And I mean, that's what you help people do, is what like to
Yes.
do as well.
Yes. That's what I do. I help people do that. I think, are there any other questions or any other things that we want to talk about in our time together before we finish up?
I don't know if there's anything you want to share on your end, um, any part of how your journey is with what you're doing. I mean, I really enjoy seeing you and be yourself on social media. It's very inspiring. Dancing, singing, gardening, all of that. I think
You've
that's
been so encouraging. Here's a little funny story. So for everybody that's sitting in and listening to what we're saying and watching us, I have been being very intentional about doing a 10-day quality of life challenge. And I have been doing a different video every day. And I've really put myself out there to where I'm actually taking photos of and videos of myself dancing or laughing or singing. I didn't put you're welcome. I did not put the volume on the singing part.
you
Right?
should have.
Well, I mean, I could, but the caveat on that prompt was it doesn't have to sound good. And so I figured everybody can figure that out. And I don't want, the whole point is not to put ourselves in a position to be judged. The point is, I'm going a little bit on a tangent. The point is not to put ourselves in a position to be judged. The point is to just express ourselves and feel good and not worry about what it sounds or looks like. So I've been doing these social media things, and as social media goes, there's a lot of people who are consuming it, and not a lot of people who are interacting with it. And you had given me this message. It was I've really been enjoying it. And what you couldn't see after I read your message, as I walked away from my computer, I went, "Oh, thank you, someone's enjoying it." Because it often just goes into a void. A lot of times people on social media forget there's an actual human behind it that's spending all this time and all this intention creating this material to enhance your lives and to bring joy. And of course I want to build my business, but it's not a one-sided thing. And so to have that encouragement and just that little small, I'm really enjoying it, really lifted me up. But so I just to piggyback on that, I'm actually in this place of, really putting myself out there and thinking outside the box and trying to live outside the box and do things that I would not have done 5 years ago, that I would not have. I really would have worried about what people are going to think about me if I start dancing in front of a camera and then post it to the world, like the World Wide Web. But I did it. So
Yes, I love it. I'm your fan. And you inspire more than you know, because so many people I mean, myself included, is, so fearful of showing those sides of us and you being that model, like for others that are looking to do it, but just need that extra little like push or inspiration or joy. And it's like, okay, now I have the courage to do it, but because they saw you or because they were influenced by you.
Yeah. And that's my hope. My hope for all of us, especially as women, is to be inspired by each other. You see one person doing it and go, oh, I can do that, or I can figure out my own version of doing that that falls under the, umbrella of who I'm called to be. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and even like with this conversation too, sharing this is just like, that's another testament of it.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm really excited to see what comes of this. And do you want to go ahead and share your business name and how to get in touch with you? We'll also have something down below that you can click on, but
Yes.
Go for it.
I would love that. So the business name, I'm the founder of Simply Me Coaching. So the idea is just like everyone is their own authentic self. Like I'm simply me. And if you say I'm simply me, you're simply me in your own way. So it really stands for authenticity, for being your most authentic self, for, bringing people's stories out, but also having a strategy for it. And that's where I specialize in like building authentic brands, really helping people bring that part of them and having a strategy for it as well. So if anyone wants to follow my journey, I could, my Instagram is _ Emily Rosales. And then, my Facebook and LinkedIn as well. We can link those profiles as well.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much for this time. I really love the time we get together. Every single time it's even better and better. So let's continue.
Yeah, that was really fun. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Had a blast.
Stay tuned next week when I chat with Nina and we continue this kind of conversation about quality of life.
Honestly, I'm not huge into balance. I'm not like, oh, I have to have a balance between how much I sleep and how much I eat and how much I spend time with this and that. For me, the quality of life is when...
You're going to have to watch to find out what she says. I'm Chelsea. I'm here to help women build and incorporate quality of life into our everyday busy lives. See you next week.